Hey everybody, Dr. Jaime here, and you are about to listen to the Dr. Jaime Show audio experience. I hope you enjoy the tips and advice in this segment. Hey everyone, Dr. Jaime here with the Dr. Jaime Show audio experience, and today I am with abuse recovery coach Sarah McDugal, sarahmcdougall.com, and her and I just got done with a full 60-minute Dr. Jaime episode on how to identify red flags in relationships, how to get out of an abusive relationship. It was such a impactful show. You've got to check it out. I don't even think we got to all of our questions. And we got off. I think we did it, and we got. I think somehow we booked like 10 additional shows after this one because there's so much information. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jaime. I'm glad to be here.
So we are going to do a quick recap of the show, and I think one of the most important things when talking about an abusive relationship is sort of what are some tips that you could share with viewers about how to identify red flags in current relationships, and is there any way to identify them shortly after they start dating someone?
Right. So like we said in the show, which definitely go watch the show if you get a chance. It can be very hard depending on an abuser's personality and how good they are at manipulating people. It can be very hard to tell right away in a dating relationship, but there are some red flags that I believe can help you kind of just like get your radar up and make sure that you're watching to see if those things are genuine problems or maybe it was just an off day. So some of those things are having, I'm just going to kind of run through them and tick them off.
Yep.
Like having an obsession with a public image or a perfect facade.
What does that mean?
That means like someone who's not willing to be vulnerable, someone who's not willing to admit that they have flaws, someone who's not willing to, to let people know that they struggle with stuff. If someone is so completely obsessed, and I'm not talking about someone who, takes a shower, uses deodorant, and,
we have a problem if you don't do that.
Yeah, don't be a slob. That's not what we're talking about. But someone, that can go into obsession, where people have to look perfect all the time, and nobody can ever find out about their flaws, and that means that they're not really willing to work on themselves and to admit that they have growth areas. That's a red flag.
Okay.
Someone who doesn't take responsibility for their actions and who continually blames everyone else, acts paranoid, other people are out to get them, and never says, you know what, I screwed up, that was my fault, and then just calmly, humbly takes responsibility and works to change it. Someone who is not kind or courteous to people who can't do anything for them.
Explain that one.
If they are totally rude to the waiter, if they're mean or insulting or even just dismissive to a cash register operator, when they can't even be courteous to people who don't bring them social ego or have nothing to offer them socially or financially, that's a problem because it means they lack empathy. They're not able to treat other people with honor and respect because they're human beings.
Okay.
Instead of just because of what they can get from them.
That's the key, empathy. And everyone, you've got to check out the show. We talked a lot about empathy, gaslighting, narcissism, so check that out. Okay, so Sarah, second chances. So now we've got people that may have been in an abusive relationship. Do you give someone a second chance if you're married, and third chance if you're married and have kids, a fourth chance? When do we stop? How does this work? There's no cut and dried situation. If you're feeling like you maybe have given somebody a lot of chances, I would say for starters, get counseling. Talk to someone who can help guide you through that because it's very, very hard to figure it out on your own. That being said, my personal philosophy for domestic violence, for physical abuse, is one strike and you're done. Okay.
And the same for adultery, for cheating in a relationship. Now, there may be people with a cheating situation where there are special circumstances and they really, really do want to continue trying to trust the other person and give them another chance. And that is your prerogative to do that. I do not discourage someone from wanting to give grace, but you are perfectly okay to not give grace. in a cheating situation.
I like in the show how you had talked about a little bit when it comes to second chances about just not does their abuse level up in the next situation?
Right.
Okay, so I think that's
so.
Yeah.
When you are deciding to give a second chance or even a third, the new chance needs to show clear, definitive difference,
Yes.
and not just be a repeat of the first or the second time around. If it's the same cycle or the abuse has gotten even worse and they're just saying sorry, this is not you giving second chances, this is you enabling abusive behavior.
Okay.
So if you're going to give a second or a third chance, and I mean, I believe in grace and redemption. Everybody makes mistakes. We're talking about clear, abusive, unrepentant behavior here. So if you are giving those extra chances, you need to be making sure that there's something very, very different about it this time than the last time.
Okay, so you want to make sure
it's not just
that
the promises.
Yes, it's not just the promises. They're actionable ways that the violence or the pain is going down, that you see them working on it.
Yes.
Okay, so our last question here: how can people who leave abusive relationships not bring their baggage into their next relationship? That is not easy.
First of all, take some time to get some really good counseling for yourself. Read books, educate yourself, figure out if there's, and I'm not assigning blame here, but figure out if there's anything that you've done that makes yourself a target for people who want to manipulate and abuse, so that you can become a stronger individual person. And then in all of that, learn to set your boundaries instead of letting someone manipulate you. Learn to trust what you know is truth and refuse to let or give in to someone who is trying to isolate you from the people you trust, your friends, your family, because that is how manipulation and isolation and abuse can start.
And also, you said taking time. Take time to develop the relationship. We're in such this rush of a society. We just want to go full throttle to the goal line, but learn that person. And if you spend a longer time learning about this person and getting in a relationship with this person, you're going to identify some of these red flags.
Take time in two ways.
Okay.
One, if you've gotten out of an abusive relationship, give yourself time before starting another relationship.
Absolutely.
Give yourself time to heal and figure out who you are so that you can be a strong individual. And two, when you find someone that's amazing, give them time to prove that they are truly as amazing as you think they are at the beginning, before you hand over your heart on a silver platter and then you're attached and then you can't see clearly when they start doing things that are wrong.
Love struck.
Yes. And keep your trusted, intuitive friends on your inner circle instead of pushing them out. And listen, don't shoot the messenger. If they've got something to say that maybe you should consider, give it some due consideration.
Sarah,
give yourself time.
Sarah, these are great tips. These are going to help so many men and women out there. Where can we find out everything we need to know about you?
I am on all social media and my website as sarahmcdugal.com, and that is SarahMcDugal.com. You can get my book from my website or on my book website, which is livewithoneface.com. And I would love to connect with you on my author page on on Facebook, which is Sarah McDugal Author. Instagram and Twitter is just Sarah McDugal. I have abuse recovery coaching online coming up, a men's only training called the Defender Brigade that you can find out more about. And the best way to do that is really just on Facebook.
Okay, excellent. Sarah, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Jaime.
Everyone, you are listening to the Dr. Jaime Show audio experience. Do me a favor, go to iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, subscribe to the Dr. Jaime Show, rate and review the show, 5 stars preferably, haha, and go ahead and comment below with your biggest takeaway from this particular episode. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the Dr. Jaime Show audio experience. I really hope that you enjoyed the tips and advice given on today's segment. Do me a favor and go to iTunes and my YouTube, and please subscribe to that channel. Every subscribe, every like, every follow helps the Dr. Jaime Show grow so that we can bring you the best guest and the best content possible. And of course, as always, if you have any feedback, feel free to leave that as well. Talk to you soon.